Here we go. All right, we're in business. Hello, Libra. This is your November reading, really, for any time you find it. Time is fluid, and your guides will bring you to whatever they want you to hear. Yeah, spirituality is quantum physics. It's all the same thing. Hi to my chat viewers. We're looking at the energy that Libra is kind of coming out of, or what lasts most affected in their life. Their energy and how they're conducting themselves right now. And we are looking at other, which can be a person, a job, your family that's driving you crazy, whatever is most impacting your life right now. And then we're also looking at the alchemy that creates. So you guys are going to, both in conversation, just like in the conversation, there's a reaction to what somebody's saying. Energetically, that happens too. And we're going to look at what energy is available to you right now. We're going to look deeply into it, and then we're going to look into what's available. Yeah, I fixed the lighting because I was like, I'm using a different... I was having issues with Restream, so I'm using my old Friday night streaming service for going live on YouTube, and I forget it, like the smallest light washes you out. So I turn the one light off that I normally use. Although I look good when I'm washed out. Looks like my looks like my skin is flawless, which of course it is not. I just want to remind everybody that I do the check-ins on Friday nights on soul navigation, and there was something else. Yeah, if you're watching this, subscribe so I can get to 1,000, because I want to throw like a private block party thing. You know, all my links are just in the description. But there was something else. Ooh, Connie Jo I think is joining me tomorrow night for a little bit. We're gonna all dress up. Now, I'm probably gonna like fully dress up, and Lee will join me. But and I might do something like, let me know if you want me to do a Halloween special on here. I think is it Tuesday, Monday? I think it's Monday. This is if you're Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising also, but like if it connects with your Venus, whatever. If you're here, there's probably something for you to listen to. Hi. But also if you're a 7th house Sun. Also, if you're a Libra, if you haven't yet, go watch the Air House Synastry video with Connie Jo and I on soul navigation, because I went into a whole thing about 7th houses and how you should have a bouncer. Your 7th house is your relationship. It's who you let in. It can also be your house of open enemies. So how you vet and like who you let in is so freaking important. Hold on. I'll be right back. For your 7th house, because I mean that we're talking partnership. We're talking about somebody you fully let into your life. So you should have a bouncer at the door of that club. Absolutely. Because it's a mirror. We're plugging this in. You know, I don't have toddlers. I don't have little kids anymore. However, somehow I seem to have custody of the 2 cats in the morning. And they are 100% my problem. So, and they've been a little distracting this morning. It's a nice big cat fight outside my office in between Gemini and Libra. Okay, so let's get into this. So the bottom of the deck, the energy, the general energy, is the Six of Pentacles. It's in reverse. Such a Libran card. Libra, if you're feeling like you're not getting back what you put into something, or you feel like you know, sometimes Libra can feel like the boat in the water that has one oar going. And if you feel that way, most signs would be like, you know, after a while that would drain them. I'm gonna say Pisces, Cancer, but Libra especially sometimes can stay in that boat just going in circles, just thinking at one point this person's gonna pick up the other oar. At some point they're going to. I think you're starting to feel drained. However, I think that you maybe what I'm seeing, and I hope that this is right, is that for you, Libra, there is a sense of understanding it's not all your fault. We have you coming out of the Eight of Swords in reverse. I hope it's to just take the Eight of Swords off the table. That's what I would like to see. Eight of Swords off the table. But it might just be, you know, that you're going in and out of anxiety. Like one day you're like, I can't live like this. And you're ready to go. And then the next day, it may feel a little bit like we can work this out, but stressed out that the other person doesn't want it as much as you are, as much as you do. In their energy that they're coming out of, it's the World card. Now, the other way that this other row can play out as other is that sometimes when we're going through big healings, we have to like, you know, okay. So I used to tease and be like, when people would be like, oh, you won't say that. You won't tell that person off. You won't, you know, you're so nice. And I used to say, yeah, that bitch was dumb. I killed her. She's gone. This is the new me, right? And I thought I was so funny saying that. But the truth is, that didn't heal it. That's just when my walls were up. I thought I got rid of the old me that made dumb decisions and gave people too many chances. And we all go through that. There's a part of us that has to go through a warrior phase. I'm not just saying that I'm not of course, like that little tough cookie part of me isn't completely gone. And I don't mind her so much. You know, all of our different placements have very important jobs. It's just, you know, do you have the right person in the right position? There is a difference between that and going back, figuring out what hurt you. And literally doing maybe an inner child healing. Sometimes you're going back to a time when you're a teenager. But quite frankly, we make decisions in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and sometimes 50s for things that are connected to that unhealed part of us. You kind of have to go back. The best way to get rid of that old you is to go back and without judgment do an inner healing to understand why the old version of you made those decisions. Instead of blaming them, instead of like, you know, I'm not going to make bad decisions about other people anymore. Friendships, partnerships, business. I'm not going to make bad decisions about money. I'm not going to make bad decisions with, you know, losing my temper. But what you really need to do is go back and look at like what state of emotional, mental, and spiritual wellness was I in when I made those decisions, and what drove the unwell part of me that made those decisions. Go back and heal that without judgment. Go back and give the 10-year-old that had to put up with stuff and had to go through something that 10-year-olds shouldn't have gone through. Right? Go back and give that version of you a hug and make yourself feel safe now in your life. That is really how you get rid of something. And approach things with a new healed version of you. This other row in this reading, especially right now, feels like you stepping in. Sometimes the other energy is us integrating a newer version of us, a healthier version of us, or saying goodbye to the unhealed version of us. And I really feel like Libra, although you're the sign of other, this would be huge for you. And I do feel huge shifts, especially for the month of November and everything that led up to it. This would be a huge shift for you to regard the other energy as the other side of yourself, integrating healing, focusing on yourself instead of other. Which, you know, is outside your normal mode of operation. We have the Five of Wands in between. There is a lot of inner conflict. Both you, the other person, or this is inner conflict because, again, I really do feel like for a lot of you, this other energy is just the part of you you're trying to integrate either into or out of. What I love is what's available for you now is this Nine of Pentacles, reaping the fruit of your labors. Getting to the place where you understand that, like, you are the abundance and that you won't completely crash without this person. Because when a Libra is going through relationship troubles, the panic that sets in, because that's such an air sign thing, right? Wherever you have air sign placements, the panic that will set in, kind of like anxiety of what will I do without them? Like, I don't want to live without them. And because what you know, just the way that I say to Virgo, the self-mastery in Virgo is not about the pursuit of perfection, because that doesn't really exist. It's about the peacefulness that you can have in what you produce. With Libra, the idea of getting to interdependency instead of codependency is beautiful, where you know you can lean on each other. You have your own free agency. You have your own stability, both external and internal. And then you bring that to another person, and that's actually a power couple. It seems like so opposite of everything that we're taught about love through media, through everything else. The idea that we could ever be in a relationship that's so healthy and so wonderful and so loving and so reciprocal, and also in that Venn diagram feel like we're not going to die if it doesn't work out. Because we're sold a lot of drama about, you know, what it should look like. You know, Libra's ruled by Venus. So they can often feel like they'll die if something doesn't work out. It feels soul crushing. The good news is, Libra, you're really good at flirting. You flirt without flirting. You're probably really attractive, whether you think so or not. and your personality, and there's something you could think that you are not conventionally attractive, and I promise you there's something in your smirk, there's something in a laugh, there's something in a mannerism that other people are finding crazy attractive, and you probably don't even see it about yourself. I think that's why, like, I don't think I have a very high viewership in Libra. And I think it's because I'm always like, you want interdependency and not codependency. And I don't know if that seems insulting or offensive. But it's really because I want to see you happy and healthy and not feeling powerless in relationships. Or people pleasing. I love this Nine of Pentacles for you. Now, they are having the Two of Cups. I gotta tell you, for a handful of you, just a handful of you, and you'll know who you are if you hear this. You could be in a situation where, which one is that? You could be in a situation where something is kind of ending, and they may have moved on, either emotionally. I don't know that it's like physically, but they may have moved on like emotionally or cerebrally with somebody else. They may feel like I'm having a new start, and you may feel a little left behind. But I think that's shifting. And I gotta tell you, and I almost don't want to tell you, what I'm seeing, if that's you, is that it's not going to be the answer for them. Whatever made them feel bored, whatever made them feel like this was draining or it wasn't enough, whatever reason that they had for kind of checking out of the relationship before they officially checked out of the relationship, which is not nice to do to a Libra. I don't even think they're looking for love someplace else. They either don't really want something that deep, they just want a distraction, or they thought that they were getting something deep and all they got was a distraction. But I definitely see that is for a handful of you. The reason I didn't want to tell you that was not even because I'm trying to say you might have a person that's kind of already like left the building before they left the building. That wasn't the part that I don't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you that this thing that they might be moving into, it ain't that deep, because I don't want you to see that as opportunity to go rush and try to get them back. No sign is perfect, right? Everybody has their stuff. But I gotta say, in this reading, I'm not feeling a whole lot about like, you screwed up, Libra. I am not feeling that. I feel that you, and this has been coming up in the Friday night readings on Soul Navigation too, I feel like you've been trying everything. And somewhere along the lines, for reasons that we could wax philosophical on for an hour, they checked out. It feels like self-preservation. It feels like it feels like numbing, honestly. It just feels like something they're going through. And they're uncomfortable with their change. It's like growing pains that they didn't expect. Because I also feel like your person, Libra, thinks that they know everything. They really don't. But they've been so vocal and staunch in declaring what they know to be true, that the fact that they're experiencing any kind of internal uncertainty is actually kind of pissing them off, is what I'm feeling. For those of you that this is another person. And it's not really, I don't think that you could have done anything different. And I don't think that you did anything really wrong But I also don't think that you could have done anything right to change this. And I think they're holding their cards very close to their chest because it's really not about another person. It's about the fact that they are looking to feel comfortable. You know, if you're in my community, you're probably changing. You're probably evolving. You're probably bringing things to your awareness. You're probably healing. And for somebody who's decided, I'm all healed, I went through so much in life that I already know everything. It's like, I'm good. I don't need anybody to help me out in my business. Can't tell me nothing, right? Those people exist. They're not bad people. They've just had to put their walls up so high to survive their childhood or whatever. When those people reach an uncertainty or a discomfort, and then the person next to them is like, well, let me examine this. And especially, and I say this all the time, if your growth game is strong and you have people-pleasing aspects in your chart, which if you have Libra energy, you do. And even if you're not a Libra and you're a 7th house sun, you do. You're being so nice when they're so uncomfortable. This feels really important to say to Libra. It's not your fault. It's not you. You're so nice and you're doing the work in front of them. And they were already uncomfortable internally. Because the way some people survive, the way some people keep themselves safe, because your brain will do whatever it has to do to keep you safe. The way that some people keep safe is to be so sure of what they know, because any uncertainty in their younger years made them very literally unsafe. There's no room for second guessing. There's no room for not knowing anything. There's no room for not being the smartest person in the room. There's no room for being a weak person in the room. So when they start to feel internal uncertainty for any reason, discomfort about who they are, what they know to be true, it's going to be really hard for them to sit still with somebody else that's willing to like pull themselves apart. Because again, if you're a Cancer, if you're a Pisces, if you're a Libra, and other placements that have those, you will go so hard for the one that you love. You will be absolutely willing to put your own guts on a table and examine it if it makes it better so that you can stay with the person you love. Where some placements would run from that, those three are going to do what they got to do. Especially the Libra and Scorpio and Taurus can do that, and even Leo to some degree because they're fixed. But Cancer and Libra especially will stay in love while they're examining their guts, where the other people might check out emotionally or check out physically, little something on the side, and then keep the peace and stay in the thing that isn't working, fixed signs. But Libra and Cancer will use their love and I love you both, but they will use their attachment and their codependency as motivation. That's the interesting thing. There's irony within all the signs. But Libra and Cancer will use their love of another person, not of their own value. They will value somebody else so much and have, quite frankly, sometimes an unhealthy attachment unless they've matured that part of their placement. And it's very hard for those two signs, that they will use that attachment, that codependency, and that love of another person. And while they think that all that they are doing is trying to save the relationship, what they have done is outgrow the other person. The good news in that is that eventually you will no longer bleed for somebody that won't get you a Band-Aid. They have their own stuff. They have their own issues. They have their own internal discomfort, right? But sometimes nobody has to be a bad guy, and it's just time for everybody to grow in separate spaces. There's a saying that says love happens in the space created, especially for like the more masculine energy of the two, which could be male or female. Libra, I believe that if this is about another person and things are strained or ending, it is not about you. And your growth game being so strong, because love is probably one of the best motivators. It's better if it's self-love. But we will all rise to challenges that we didn't think we could rise to as parents because we love our kids, for a friend, for a parent. Things you don't think you're capable, but love is a hell of a motivator. What you probably didn't realize you were doing was leading while you think that you're failing and you think that I'm not enough and I can't do anything right. You have done so much self-examination that you led by example in a way that not everyone can follow. I hope you sit with that for a minute, and I hope you realize that for whoever's listening to this, if that's happened to you, and you're just concentrating on how you think you failed the relationship, I want you to think how you showed up for someone else as not failing, and that your willingness to examine and look into yourself, and however you grew from that, is a win. Beautiful Knight of Cups coming up. They have the Death card on their side. That's rebirth. In the middle is the Ten of Swords. Whatever, we're in eclipse season. Go watch the beginning of Gemini, whether you have Gemini placements or not, because I go over why everything is shifting right now. Whatever ending comes, whether that's an ending of how these two energies exchange, whether this is an ending because you are closing out working and operating through the unhealed version of yourself, that you were able to do a little inner child healing. You're not just moving forward with like, you know, I killed that old version of me, and you're really moving forward with like, I understand and have empathy for the old version of me. Because while we're responsible for our behaviors, the chances that you're responsible for anything that happened to you as a child that caused trauma, or that you asked for it, or any of that, is nil, zero, none. Most trauma happens when we have the least control, the least agency, the least sovereignty over our bodies and our lives. So don't think I was so dumb. I want you to think that like I was surviving. This person survived by having to know everything and being the strongest, smartest in the room. And you survived by understanding what you could do to make somebody else happy so there was less conflict. And you can feel like you helped and you loved. Everybody does what they need to survive. But you need to forgive the part of you that was surviving, instead of calling that person, that version of you, dumb, or shaming that version of you. Because when we call our old selves dumb, stupid, I was young and dumb, there's a nuance of shame. that we imply without saying it out loud. Let that go. Let's clarify the reading, get a message from your person, and pull an oracle card for you. I might actually get Aquarius done, but we're not going to do free card pulls. Tomorrow I'll do fire signs, earth signs. Tomorrow I'll do earth signs, and I'll probably do fire over the weekend. Okay, so there is a part of you that knows something that you may not want to fully sit in yet. You will get there. And if it makes you feel unsafe, I'm going to say this, like, truth is a wonderful thing, because with truth and awareness, we can look at things, we can fix things. But if a revelation or something that you feel like you know, but you cannot fully take in, you cannot receive it, that you feel like you can't receive it or you can't fully take it in because you won't feel safe in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, something about it makes you feel not safe, then that's okay. Because trying to do too much and putting yourself into fight or flight, that's not progress. Be gentle with yourself. As my friend Vita says all the time, gentle is sustainable. It's such a brilliant, simple phrase, but it's true. I don't know. I believe, Libra, that somebody else might come back. I think that you are somebody else's, the one that got away. And I don't know that that goes forward. I don't know that this doesn't come back different and fresh in the spring. But what I do feel like for quite a few of you is that that other person who felt like you were the one who got away, that might come back. That's going to shift a lot of polarity. That's going to just... going to change everything. Yeah, their thing is saying, I need to have more fun. They're not looking for anything deep. They are looking to escape themselves, let alone anything that requires the best of them right now. Because they're questioning what's the best of them and what they know. And for them, that feels unsafe. I knew these monthly readings were going to be deep, and I got to stop thinking I'm going to do them in half an hour. Yeah. It says they're listening to their guides. Sometimes people will leave you, not because you gained 20 pounds, because you're lost in your life, because you've been a little sad and you're not as much fun anymore. Sometimes people will leave us because that little part of them that says, I should not take this person with me down in flames, when they start to feel dysregulated in their own internal self, they'll ditch you before they'll take you down to the depths of hell with them. And if you have that beautiful Libran energy, they might not tell you, because they know that you'll go, I will get fire retardant suits. I will order them on Amazon right now, and I will go to hell with you. But if they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel for themselves, they might feel that it's unfair to bring you with them. That was for somebody. Let's get you an oracle card. And then I think we have enough time to do Aquarius before my reading. I'm going to take a healing card for you. My choices determine how brightly I shine, expressing free will. Your own agency, your own benefit, your welfare, your own best welfare has to be taken into consideration, not just the other person's. That is not selfish, Libra. It's not selfish. Put your oxygen mask on first. It does not make you less loving. I love you, now you love you. I'm going to do Aquarius right now. And if you have questions, you can always email me. If there's something you didn't understand. And also, I have like 15-minute readings. I don't really talk about that stuff. But I will be dressed up tomorrow night for tarot on Soul Navigation. So I hope you will join me for shenanigans. And I'll be answering replay viewers' questions. So if you haven't put your question in the last couple of weeks, go to any of the last 2 Fridays and put a comment in there so that we can get to them. Bye, everyone. Bye, April. I'm going to do Aquarius now. All right, bye.